What do you get with 2.5-pack suitcases and a ticket to Costa Rica? A trip back to Costa Rica. Well, my last night in the princess room, my home away from home when my granddaughter was away, and the apartment I share with my son for the last month and a half. I'd wanted to sleep in a little bit longer on this day, but with both the nervousness and excitement of leaving after spending 5.5 unexpected but wonderful months with my son, I knew I had to get up and get the day going. And moving away 2,300 miles again, there'd be a lot to process mentally and emotionally. The 45-minute ride to the airport eased everybody's anxiousness as we listened to great music, shared in laughs and memories of the last 6.5 months, all the crazy things that happened, all the progress that we made, and the exciting new things that were ahead for all of us. It was bittersweet, sad to say goodbye, but exciting that we all had new chapters to write. Now, to save money, I always take the cheapest flight, which means layovers. And my first flight, which I got 3 hours early to the airport for, was a 1-hour flight down to Chicago. Now, that was going to put me in the Chicago airport for 16 hours, and I know that's not appealing to anybody or to most people, but I've gotten used to it over time, and I knew I'd find a way to pass the time. The layovers always give me plenty of extra time to work on my writing, which I love to do, catch up on extra work, make lists, or spend time watching the other weary travelers passing their time. I arrived at Chicago O'Hare about 2 p.m., settled in at the food court, and got some much-needed food and energy for what would be a long and obviously patient 16 hours until my flight left. Somehow that first 9 hours went pretty quickly, so I packed up my stuff and started making my way to the gate where I would settle in for the night. It was mostly workers in the airport now, and things were pretty barren and quiet. In the airport, pretty quiet here. About 11:30 at night, just passing the time until 6 a.m. when my flight leaves. 6:30 a.m. actually. Thought I could catch a little shut-eye setting up, but turns out that wasn't the best idea either. Turns out it was cleaning time for all the people in the particular gates that I was in, so I had to come up with a plan B. Okay, it's 3 a.m. I haven't slept because I can't. It's hard to sleep in an airport. I tried laying down on a bench to sleep a little bit, but I couldn't because some guy from a foreign country came over and sat down a couple of seats away from me and had a FaceTime conversation seemingly with his family as I heard different voices as loud as he could, and the airport was empty and he and I were the only ones in this particular gate, so I guess it's important that he was at the exact same gate where I was trying to sleep a little bit earlier, but that didn't work. So I've been up just, again, I don't know, writing and watching some videos. So I'm going to sum it up here now. I am heading back to Costa Rica, and I've got to figure things out. Going back with a small chunk of money and in search of a job, and I'm going to figure it out. I don't know what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, or how it's going to happen, but that's where I'm at. So in 3 hours, I'm going to hop on a plane. 3.5 hours, I'm going to hop on a plane and make my way back to the place where I have found makes me the happiest and where I've been most at peace, and that's in Costa Rica. As I'll talk about in future videos and kind of share part of my story, I spent 2 years there. I'd say 1 full year of those 2 years were one of the happiest years of my life, and I felt completely at peace. I love it there. The people are incredible, and just had a great experience between work and spending time there. And the rest of the other part of the year, the 2 years, was quite a learning experience for me too, which at some point I'll talk about as well. But this is it, man, the next chapter. So I'm turning the page and hopping on a plane, and we'll see where it takes me. I did have one hiccup, however, that made me pretty nervous. We made a flight to Miami before picking up the flight to Costa Rica, and I literally had to run, almost sprint, to my next gate just to catch the flight, which then went to Costa Rica. But I made it. And I can tell you that once you start to see that beautiful green of Costa Rica, you know you're home. And after a 4-hour ride, it was great to get back to the streets of La Fortuna, my favorite restaurant, Restaurante Pollo La Familia. Okay, first night back in La Fortuna, having a pechuga, chicken breast, my favorite thing in the world. I'm back home, excited to be here. Lots more to share. A really nice surprise is that I got to see La Fortuna's holiday parade. Full-on marching bands, color guard, dancers, and a whole lot more. Very cool. Then, a stroll through Central Park to check out the traditional holiday lights. And the final ride home was great too, because I got to see all the old restaurants and stomping grounds where I used to write and hang out, and it truly felt like home again. Well, I made it. Back in Costa Rica, back home. Happy to be back here. Thanks again to my 2 viewers. Appreciate you. Thanks again for watching. To everybody else, appreciate a like and subscribe to help the channel, and I'll look forward to seeing you back here again soon.